I've been doing that. I've been starting to take live calls. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic Podcast. I'm really excited about my guest tonight. She's a fellow Pittsburgher like myself, and she represents the city by throwing UFO and paranormal conferences, and she also has stores in the city. So I'm really proud to have her on. And I wrote a blurb about it. I wrote tonight on the Typical Skeptic Podcast. I welcome back Christine Soltis, the founder of Solstice Night Sky Productions. She's an author, investigator, filmmaker, and one of the key organizers behind Pittsburgh's rising metaphysical and paranormal community. Christine is a private investigator and a multi-genre author, the creator behind countless regional paranormal events, most notably the upcoming April 18th, 2026 Cryptid Panel at Bethel Park Library, which she is producing, and I'll be live streaming. Her work spans fiction, nonfiction, metaphysics, karma, cryptids, and real-world paranormal case studies. Tonight we'll dive into her book Spirit Blocker, her book Controlling Karma, her views on reincarnation, karma loops, and dimensional imprisonment, Pittsburgh area cryptids in the region is a hot spot, and the upcoming conference and everything else. And yeah, and with all that said, I'd like to give her a big warm welcome back to the show. Christine, thanks so much for coming back on. How are you?
Thank you for having me on. I'm pretty good, except as I mentioned, I might be getting a little cold just in case my voice changes at all or I get choked up or anything.
Yeah. Let's start off. Could tell the audience a little bit about yourself for people that might not be that familiar with you.
Oh, certainly. So I've been an author for over, I wrote my first book around like 2003. And I didn't really release everything back then until, a lot later, probably like 2008. But I've written 27, going on 28 books. The one that I have in the hangar right now that I haven't released is on Earth energy and ley lines. I do have a science and a broadcasting background, but somehow ended up in the fields of private investigations. So I've been a private investigator for 13 years now, on my 13th year. I've been an actress. I do the panels. I started doing the panels over a decade ago, around 2013, 2014, 2015. And, I have I have a couple little stores. I did have a couple out here in Pittsburgh, but now I just have one in Florida, Cooper City, Florida. So I do like merchandise and stuff like that. And jewelry, I design metaphysical jewelry. I mean, there's a lot. I could probably keep going unless you want to.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. So for all the people that are interested in the metaphysical jewelry, what kind do you usually, what do you like to make the most? Like,
I like to use, so Hollywood Beach in Florida is a place that became kind of special to me. And, they have a lot of seashells. I try not to take too many, but their seashells are so interesting. They have like little holes in them already, so you don't have to drill them. So I like to make ones that have like natural seashells with natural stones. Like it could be like selenite, which is a stone for the moon. And then rainbow moonstone too. And things like that. So I just like to pair up just different combinations. They all have different meanings. I'm personally wearing moonstone right now. I didn't make this one, but it's a pretty nice piece there, and it shines like a blue color when you change the direction of it.
Does anything give off like a major energy? Like how crystals give off energy? Like, does any like one like that you feel like call out to you really energetically? Would you say?
Oh yeah, I love selenite because that's one that is kind of like a purifier, so it cleanses you. I actually sleep with it under my pillow. It's supposed to realign your chakra every night. So I love selenite. I wouldn't say that it's like powerful, but I feel like it's a really good cleanser. I do like to use moonstone because it's my sun sign is a Cancer, so that's one of my stones. My moon sign is a Scorpio. So anything that's a water related or moon related is like perfect for me. I try to stay away from like fire stones. They kind of feel like a little icky because I'm very much a water sign. If you believe in the differences in the astrologically, but I like a lot of them. There's so many I could go through, but those are kind of a couple of my favorites. I do love rainbow moonstone. It's so it's got the blue flash in it, and it's got black as well.
Yeah. So let's talk about the conference. So you've been throwing these conferences, you said, since 2013 or 2015. Like, like what got you started in? I know I met you at the Butler Paranormal Conference. That's the first time I met you. But like, what got you into like throwing these conferences? And have you just always had an interest in the paranormal? Is that kind of why you write about it and stuff too?
Oh yeah, I mean, I kind of grew up on all that, and that's what I know. You mentioned spirit blocker. We'll get into that, but that does go through a little bit of my history when it comes to like paranormal things. Because you know, like even if we try to deny like any sort of paranormal entity coming into our lives, sometimes we have I don't think we have any control over it because they're still sometimes there. So what happened was I have like a major intellectual curiosity, so I like to do you know, any sort of and anything that'll help me learn more. So it was so fun. Like back in 2013, Chris Rickard, she owned LJ. Well, she worked at LJ's bookstore. That's what it was named back then. And it was on West Liberty Avenue near Dormont. So you know, we're doing stuff to kind of bring in some business and like have fun there. So I would do like 3 or 4 of these panels a year, and they would encompass like Wiccan, witchcraft, stuff like that. There was artificial intelligence, life on other planets. I actually feel like when I look at some of those, I was a little bit more, I was a little bit more creative, I guess you'd say, in some of my my responses. I probably spent a lot more time reading back then about, you know, different ways that aliens could come here or whatever. But then like, you know, life gets in the way of that. And that's kind of why I stopped doing it. I did it from 2013 to 2015. And then you know, as a PI, that's when my career really took off. And I just didn't have the time anymore. So, you know, I have brought that back though, as of last year, and people seem to be enjoying them. So that's good.
Yeah, I enjoy them, and I'm glad. I'm honored that you have me to be a part of them, whether I'm on the panel or whether I'm streaming it. Like I still, you know, it's a big honor for me. You know,
very happy.
I had that in my resume, you know, and then, you know, it looks good. But like I wanted to tell you, I don't think I ever told you this, but like not the last panel we did, not the one, you know, recently, the one on alien abduction, but the one before that. I think it was life on other. It was the first one you had me involved in. Like I had a full-blown entity attachment the whole time. Like it was latched onto my ear.
You told me.
Like I couldn't get rid of it, and like it was thrown off my equilibrium. I remember that day you gave me a piece of selenite because I had told you I had it. Like I don't think anybody realized like how bad it was, and I didn't want to tell anybody. I was just like, oh, I'll just go and do this. But like, yeah, it was really a bad problem. Like, you know, it makes you realize that there are like other forces in this world, like that, like especially entities and stuff that can like attach to you. And like, you know, I still haven't seen a ghost. I mean, well, sometimes when I smoke weed, I see like interdimensional entities, you know, like outside, you know, but like that's about it. Like I don't, I mean, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to throw that in there. Like, you know, like I definitely had an entity attachment. Like, yeah.
Do you remember us talking about that? We talked about that in great detail, and I did give you a sage candle. I don't know if that helped.
Yeah, it did. It helped out big time. I mean, like, I think in the end I had to get rid of it myself, but like everybody tried to help a little bit. I had all different kinds of healers, like, you know what I mean? Because I know so many different people. It was like I reached out to a bunch of, you know, like it finally went away. But I can feel like when I do shows, like I can feel things try to attach to me, like, you know what I mean? You can kind of just put it off now, you know, like. I don't know. Like it's, have you ever had anything like that? Or like, have you ever experienced
You know, it's funny that you say that because I just had, I don't know if you saw some of my Facebook posts. I just had like, I was curious because I decided to be, you know, what you would call a spirit blocker, someone who doesn't open themselves up to things. I don't go, you know, head first into anything. But recently that kind of changed, and that started last year where I started getting a little bit more of a curiosity towards things. But I know so much about you know, protecting yourself, especially through both stones and, you know, they always say that, you know, you can say certain prayers and things like that, light the candle, you know, verbalize your intentions. So what I did was at the beginning of January, the very first weekend of January, I went to the Vampa Museum out by Philly. It's out in Reading, PA. And there were a lot of like warnings about haunted kind of artifacts and things like that, and pictures. So I was a little bit careless, I guess you'd say, and I was taking selfies with some of them. I did look one of the things in the eyes that you were supposed to. They say not to glorify like demons and things like that. Completely understandable. We don't even say that word in my household, and that's part of it. So for a moment, I was very exhausted from working so much that I had some consultations with some friends, but there seems to be a belief that some of these entities cannot attach to certain people, or if you've done the proper protocol when you've been around them. Like, for example, the very last room at Vampa was dedicated to angels and Michael. So what I did basically was ask for a blessing upon leaving. At one point, I did accidentally kick a trunk. That was a vampiric trunk.
Can you explain what this place is? What's Vampa? What is it? Because you say it's called Vampa.
It's a vampire museum. It has like old ancient artifacts in it, and then it also has like an exorcism room. It has like skeletons. It has like the exorcist, like the equipment, things like that. It has a lot of stuff. I was taking selfies with Elizabeth Bathory. That's not her actual name. That's the name they used on the oh my God, I can't even talk. I'm just like, sorry, bear with me. I took some selfies with her, and I was like, and then I looked down and it was like, view with caution. It was like, oh, oops, there's a warning on this one. There were a couple, there was a room that was off, away from everybody. You should look it up. Are you looking it up now?
I will. Of it. Yeah, I'd like to look it up and show it while we're talking. I know you went to
look at my Instagram. Don't do my Facebook. That's a personal page. But if you can go on Solstice Night Sky Productions, that's a public page. There's a lot of posts of the the different entities that I saw there, and I didn't post anything that would be terribly detrimental to people. I didn't want to if people did feel like they could get an attachment, I didn't want to but my friend, one of my good friends, it does a lot of Reiki and stuff like that, so I will call him at times, and he was talking about how you have to lower yourself to a certain energy field to get a lot of attachments. So that's one thing to think about too, is like where your energy is at. If you have high energy, it's just going to be a bit more difficult for something to attach to you, in my personal opinion. And if you've taken the proper step.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm trying to get in I'm on your Instagram now, because I was actually maybe we could share it and show some stuff. But sometimes my internet moves really slow. I have a new laptop. I just haven't been using it because you get attached to old computers and stuff like that. That's how I am.
Yeah, I definitely am.
I get
It's the productions one. I have so many different social media things, and they all have different purposes. Like Solstice Night Sky Designs is for things I make. Solstice Night Sky Productions is for the panels and things like that. So you're going to want to look at Solstice Night Sky Productions, and that's the one. And I can even send you that message if you are having any trouble with that.
I'm trying to share the whole screen. I'm sharing the whole screen now. It should be sharing. Hold on one second. You should be. Can you see your Instagram? We should be able to see it now.
I don't see it anything on here. Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That's it. Okay, you can scroll down.
Yeah. You posted the show today. That's cool. Yeah. And so here, guys, I'm going to show this real quick first. This is we'll be doing this on April 18th. I'll be a part of it, guys. I'll be live streaming it. It's Christine's next panel, and you can see Steve Gordon's going to be there. He's a pretty big name. Mm-hmm. Brian Seach is in Pennsylvania. Robert Solomon, Jamie and Jenny King, Shea, Kathleen Wilson, and myself and Christine will be at Bethel Park Library. So if you want to come meet me, if you're from out of town and you want to come meet me, or you want to meet one of us, we'll be April 18th from 1 to 4 p.m. and it's a Cryptid Panel. And I'm just going to read what Christine. We have 2 new sponsors for the upcoming Cryptid Panel, and then she's talking a little bit about the sponsors. But if you guys want to be a sponsor, get a hold of Christine, and
yeah, and they'll be on
so is this picture here this werewolf from the Vampa Museum? Is this?
Oh no, that's from Salem. I was going through some old photos, especially with, those are old panel photos. This panel photo right here, you can see that's from like 2014, and that's where we used to hold the panels at LJ's bookstore, which later became Rickert and Beagle Books. Yep, so you can see there's a witch one on Wiccan, witchcraft, folklore, and then I think this was on film. And then I just did a couple cute little old pictures that I was looking through.
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah. It's loading now. It's not okay.
Yeah. It's
still you go to whatchamacallit, you went to you went to the Mothman Museum, right?
Oh yeah, I've been there. I've been there for like decades.
Is it skipping?
I think the first time I went there was 2015, so it was like 11 years ago. I've been around. This is all the Vampa stuff that you're looking at.
Okay, here we are. We're at the Vampa Museum.
Yeah, and I got stuck going out there for work, so I said, "Oh my gosh, at least there's something fun to do." But that's Elizabeth Bathory behind me in that one.
This is in Philly, you said?
It's in Reading. Yep. It's Doylestown. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I was in Reading, but Doylestown was like an hour and a half away.
Yeah, I'm sorry for talking over each other, Christine. It's because and like right now I can't see you at all because I'm like on the Instagram screen. So for some reason, I'm not being rude. I'm not trying to talk over you. It's just like there's a little bit of a delay with the StreamYard or whatever, but this is fascinating. Like, it's really cool. Like, I'm just clicking on this stuff. This is really like, yeah.
Those are like spiritual protectors from different places.
This is really.
It was definitely worth it. I mean, I only had an hour.
And what's this mirror here?
It was by like the door where the new artifacts came in, and I did an asshole thing and took a picture. Oh, I'm sorry, I took a selfie in it. I was feeling risque. So it was right by the door where they were.
I love it.
Were coming in. And I started using Instagram more, doing part to like you can put really cool songs on each thing. So I've discovered a lot of excellent music since I started using it more. Those are old vampire hunting kits.
Hell yeah, I do that too with Facebook. I love that. Yeah, this looks cool. Just welcome to Vampa Museum, where art. I'll just put a picture. This. I'll wait too, because I follow you on here. So it says, guys. It says, welcome to Vampa Museum, where art and artifact reflect the eternal struggle between light and darkness. At Vampa Weeks, where the place where physical meets the unseen, where art is shaped by mortality, the supernatural inspires works of passion, protection. That is so cool. It's like, wow, that's amazing. Like,
yeah, I've been wanting to go.
Yeah, this was awesome. Like,
check out this Michael, and I'm not sure if that's a rendition.
Now.
Oh, okay. One of the first things that because I love.
Oh, I mean.
Okay. I think we're talking over each other again. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you good.
I love like light and dark, and then I love like angel, the whole, I love angels. So the first thing that when I drove in was like Michael, on top of, I don't know if that depiction would be considered like Satan when he alleged to a defeated state, or if they were using more of like a vampire look. When you look at that picture, some people think it looks like he's more like stepping on a vampire, like vanquishing a vampire.
Do you have a question for you? Do you think vampires exist in real life? Do you think there are real life vampires?
I mean, I know there's cultures that practice vampirism, especially in like New Orleans. I've been to New Orleans a lot. I didn't see any. So I've been to their vampire balls and things like that. I've done a lot of really cool things. I'm actually looking for the next cool place to visit. I did find like a horror, I think it's a horror themed or horror vampire themed restaurant in Philly. Not that I want to go out there again, but if I do, that might be something to see. It's just really far away.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that stuff was out there because I kind of wasn't into that stuff at the time. But also, you mentioned New Orleans. Like, I've been thinking about having a conference, and I want to have a conference in New Orleans. Like when I do like the first conference for my podcast, like I think New Orleans might be the place. Like, did you like New Orleans?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, it's not considered safe, but it's the murder capital, I think. But as long as you're with somebody, I wouldn't do it alone. I always had a friend with me, my friend Carrie. So we would always do like Halloween in either Salem or New Orleans, and she doesn't like the cold. So when we did Salem and when we did Halloween in Salem, she was like freezing her butt off. So we decided to do like New Orleans a couple of times. It's been a while since I've been out there. And if you go right after a hurricane, it smells really moldy. So I would just avoid that time. If they just have a hurricane, don't go. It's kind of stinky.
Yeah. Wow. That. I mean, like, were you able to see like like Marie Laveau supposedly there and everything? Like, she was like a old school like voodoo witch lady or something. Do you know about her? And like, I'm sure you know about, because I know you know about the paranormal.
She sounds familiar, but we did spend we spent a lot of time on Bourbon Street. And Lafitte's is one of the oldest taverns in America, and they don't even have electricity. I think it's called Lafitte's. It's like from the 1700s. So we would go there, and we just kind of asked our Uber. We were going out to a tour one night, and somebody had the time wrong. I don't know if it was us or them, but we never got to go on our tour. So we did go to an alligator swamp and see alligators. They fed them marshmallows and stuff.
What?
Yeah, we were on a boat. We were on like what do they call them? The pontoons. We were on a pontoon boat, and there's alligators swimming around us. I got to hold a baby one too.
Whoa, that's insane.
A lot of cool. I've held a scorpion before too. So
that was. Who has better food, Pittsburgh or New Orleans? Would you say?
Wait, what was that?
Who has better food, Pittsburgh or New Orleans?
Definitely New Orleans.
You think, like, because I think we have a lot of good food here in Pittsburgh. I think it's underrated, but like, I don't know. Like, well, I'm a foodie. Like, like I kind of got out of shape, and I like, but is the food really good there though?
Yeah, I mean, at Oceana, I was kind of hooked on. They had this like crab cake Alfredo, so it was like fettuccine Alfredo with crab cake on top of it, and I was completely obsessed with it for a while. And then the next time we went back, I had it, and it didn't taste quite as good, but it was probably one of my top favorite dishes that I ever had anywhere.
Wow.
I don't know. Pittsburgh have some good stuff too, but
you said it's the murder capital of the world. But did you feel pretty safe there the whole time, like?
Yeah, except we did get followed at one point, and then like there was a couple things. I don't know if it's still considered the murder capital. That's something we knew before. But what happened was my friend and I, there. I don't know why, but there's a sign on Bourbon Street that says no cell phone usage in that spot. So we like stood by it with cell phones. And some guy came up to us, like yelling at us in French, and I knew French, and I started talking to him back, and he hurried up and ran off. So it was kind of funny. It was like he was trying to scare us or something. And then there was one guy, my friend said he was following us. I didn't see him, but we like dipped into like a pizza shop or something.
Well, if you ever need someone to travel with, like if you and your friends are going on a trip and you want someone to go, I'll hop in with you guys. I can be a good bodyguard, and we can do some live podcasts. So I'm just throwing the option out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My friends are not fun anymore. I'll tell them that, but they don't do anything fun. So I'm always looking. I have some places in mind for the future. It's just like not right now. The next place I'm going to go is probably going to be Florida again to check on the shop. Probably this spring. Yeah.
How's that going? So you had shops here in Pittsburgh. Did you shut those down, or what happened?
Yeah, we had a lot of theft, and it's really, and I've told people this, it's really heartbreaking when you are both an artist and a PI, so you like justice, and everything that I make with my hands. Like occasionally there might be something that's in bulk, but everything I make, keychains, necklaces, all of it, I make it myself. So when you have like 4 necklaces getting stolen in like 2 days or 3 days, it's like you're slowly, it's adding up. You're losing like hundreds of dollars worth of stuff. So I shut those down. I was like, I don't think I could deal with that right now. So then I did open one in Florida, and we had the same problem. We didn't think that we would have that problem so much out there because they might have higher incomes. But the girls that work there within the shops, they actually caught one of these, and the police came in and arrested her. And I love that. I love that kind of teamwork because everybody's willing to like brush that under the carpet and not do anything about it. So I like the Florida shop better. It's just slow right now because it's January. And even though it's Florida, it's still cold. Like people aren't going to be excited to go to the beach. It's chillier than it is during spring and summer.
Yeah. So, like there's a big thing with like merchandise in general. I think there's a major problem with our society because like if you come here, like, I'm not going to tell the audience where I live completely, but where I live, or you have an idea where I live because like you're from the city and the vicinity and you have my address, right? But but you have an idea where I live, but like they closed down Pittsburgh Mills Mall, like everything's closing down there. They just closed Macy's down. And then they're closing down the Monroeville Mall too. Like the 2 malls that are closest to me, like they're completely shutting them down. And like what's crazy is the Monroeville Mall had like so much history. Like they filmed the Night of the Living Dead there, and it just makes me upset because like I feel like so many people are ordering so much shit off Amazon and Walmart.com and wherever else, and they just do all their shopping online. But like like I was watching this, and I don't want to go too far off track, but I think you'll find this interesting. I was watching this like pop culture channel. It's called AVA Pop Culture, and he talks about like when we grew up like in the 80s and 90s about like how Christmas and Thanksgiving were better, like because like people got out more and like people went to the mall and did stuff, and it's like I think we're losing that as a society. Do you agree, or what do you see?
Oh, absolutely. And I always had a dream of having a store, but stores are faltering. They are failing because people want to stay at home. Oh my gosh, like, sorry, I just had a brain fart. Yeah, definitely think that people are hurting now too. So it's not just that they, want to order off Amazon. And I will say right now that I went out on Friday to Barnes and Noble for the first time to in person to buy books because I was guilty. I was buying them off Amazon, and I was looking at the prices and I was like, holy shit, the upcharge was incredible. It was like $30 book I saw on Amazon for $22. Now that's an $8 savings. I still bought 3 books and I knew one of them was going to be $8 cheaper online. I still spent $70 on books, but I could have gotten those for like $50 online, and that's part of the problem is the cost for running a store. So it's not even economically feasible for there to be a storefront. People pay rent, they pay the operation, all the employees, the lighting. So it's just in my book Reclusive 2038, it's so freaking weird because people keep saying that book is coming true. I wrote that book like 11 years ago, and it's a cashless society, and that's one of the main things people are talking about now is becoming a cashless society. So it's so freaking weird. Like I don't know, I would read that book. I know
like in the conspiracy community, a lot of people are talking about digital ID. You know what I mean? Like I had David Icke's son on my show recently. It was like a couple months ago, but he was talking about how over there in the UK, they're pushing for the digital ID, and they're pushing it. It seems like they're pushing for like a digital currency, and I just think that's kind of dangerous. It's really weird.
Yeah. One of my friends just posted about that too. They were like, you would no longer be able to go like shovel someone's driveway for $20. It's probably like $50 now. You wouldn't be able to go mow somebody's yard. Like how do you do that in a cashless society?
Yeah, it's really scary. Yeah, unless someone cash apps you or something. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's what it's coming to. I don't know. Like it's weird. Well, like speaking of books, like let's get into it. Like, because you wrote like 20, what is it, 28 books?
27 going on 28. I'm behind. I need to sit down and write some new books. I've been so overwhelmed with everything else that I just never take the time to sit down and be peaceful and finish a written work. But I have quite a few ideas in mind. But yeah, 27. I should have more, but I work too. So
yeah, and she wrote all these books before AI, guys. So like these are all absolute original thought. Like that's another thing. People are like bringing up the whole AI thing too. Like AI is becoming a big thing where people are just writing books with AI and like there's no creativity involved. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I was like, okay, so AI is like, can I write this for you? I'm like, no, because honestly, I don't think AI can write something better than me. And that's because I've been doing it so long and they don't understand us. Like when you look at AI is still experimental. So when you're looking at what they're doing, they're quoting places like Quora as like a cited source. And it's like, that's like, where people tell their opinions. Like AI is really not there yet. It's still considered experimental.
Yeah.
So
what I did was I'm not an author like you, and so like for me this was like kind of experimental. Like I wrote a book on like alien abduct. Like I wrote it was for the holidays. I wrote a book like and if somebody were it was about me. Like if I were to get abducted on Christmas Eve by aliens and like would go down and like I used AI to do filler. Like most of it was my original thought, but I used AI to like fill in like. But it still was like I put it out like free on Substack and Patreon. I didn't even put it out as like a Kindle because like I don't know, it's just kind of like experimental. But like I like the idea right now. I'm on Substack too. Did you get on Substack yet? You would probably like that because that's good for writers.
I don't know what that is. No, I'm always behind the times on everything culturally.
Substack's like a new platform where people like write articles and like they write books and like it would be good for you because you're an author and like you like you could showcase a lot of your work on there. I don't know, but
I'll have to look into it. But I'm one of those people that doesn't even have a TV, so like I'm so behind on like. And I have a whole list of things I was supposed to do this weekend that I didn't do. And I'm usually like high powered charging out and getting everything done. But winter is like. It's like, I get to finally relax. I'm beat. I'm just not going to do anything.
Yeah. Let's talk about your two books that I enjoy the most, the Spirit Blocker and Controlling Karma. Like, what inspired you to write Spirit Blocker?
Well, that's why, like, as I grew up, I had one very small and insignificant moment where I thought I saw something that was of a paranormal nature that I couldn't explain. So the funny part is I was young and I went to a sleepover with, your average normal girls from school. And I told them about it. This is probably where my storytelling, this began. And I told them about it and they all cried. And I was like, oh shit, this is like scary. I don't think I want to ever see anything or experience this again. I was like, I'm just gonna kind of block that out. I'm never gonna see it. So the weird part was when I became a teenager, I was running out around with my friends and we were always going out down back roads, sometimes on foot. And it would be dark and that now you'd think, oh, that's really dumb. But we would do that, just kind of looking to see if we could find anything. And anytime that I went with them, we saw nothing. So people started saying, well, I think that you block spirits. And I was like, okay, well, I'm okay with that because that was kind of what I wanted from a long time ago. But then that did kind of change when I got older. And I will be writing a book that showcases some of that. But when you look at Spirit Blocker, no matter how much I didn't want to see them, you'll see there's a picture in there where there was what looked like a ghostly entity behind me in Portland, Maine. Now, Portland, Maine was really weird. I've traveled a lot, almost every state and a couple countries. So, and Portland, Maine was really weird for me. Like I had some deja vu feeling. So I don't know if I have like a past life in there or what, but that's where the entity was in the back of the mirror or the window. Like it was kind of up high. And then the other thing that you see in pictures with me is angels, like usually like an angel form. So, it's like no matter how much you don't want this to happen, you may not have any control over it. And that's what Spirit Blocker kind of goes into. is that basically. And then also things like people don't understand astrology very well. So there's a chapter on misunderstood astrology. There's a chapter on energy transfer, like how you feel other people's energy. And that feeling people's energy just kind of, that grows through life. And I have a friend who just, I was talking to her yesterday, and she was talking about how she kind of picked up so much bad energy from someone that she felt like she had an attachment. And I was like, I don't think that you do. I think that you're just becoming more cognizant of it and kind of experiencing it. Like it's deeper. Like what you're feeling is just, there's more like depth to it. You're more sensitive to those things because you're more open to them, you know, and that does happen. I don't think she has an attachment.
Yeah. Do you feel like some people, oh, sorry. I was going to say, do you feel like some people are more psychically vulnerable than others? Like,
oh yeah,
in your experience?
Oh my gosh, oh yeah, definitely, absolutely. I don't want messages, but sometimes I get mine, but mine are through like numbers, and that's part of what Spirit Blocker is about too. So one of the things that some of us know, but not everyone knows, is that unfortunately our dear friend Fred Saluca passed away after our last panel, a month after that. And, we are going to have a seat and a tribute to him at the next panel. But from what I understand, he left it at 1:33 p.m. And ever since then, I've seen that number repeatedly. So it's like, I would just kind of say, hi, Fred, how you doing? You know, like, I don't know where he's at now, but, it's just like, I did have someone read that for me too, to kind of give me an indicator of is something wrong, or is he just saying hello from like another afterlife?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Like that's I mean, I can ask you a question. Like, have you had any like do you? Okay, so after the last UFO meeting, I went with Jimmy. Down to like our UFO meeting down in Bethel Park or whatever, and we did like a tribute to Fred, you know, and it was weird because we were coming home on the way home, and on the way home, like we went through the Pittsburgh tunnels, we went through the city, and just as we got through the city, and we were it was either through right when we got through the tunnels, I think it was like Jimmy said to me, he's like, look up in the sky. And there was a UFO. It was like a real UFO. And I was like, holy shit. And I didn't have time to film it. I didn't even think about it, you know? But like, we were just like so surprised. And like, it made me think, I said, did Fred somehow like summon that UFO? Because it was just weird that like, we were like, like doing a tribute to Fred. Fred was all about UFOs. And then we actually like saw a UFO, you know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, do you think like stuff like that can happen, or do you think it's just like coincidence or maybe synchronicity or something like that?
It could be a synchronicity. What was it, daylight or was it night at that time?
It was like it was day going into night, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Fred was in this field for like...
It was like maybe like 5-6 p.m. or something.
Okay, so Fred was in this field for like 60 years, so he had so much knowledge. And when people pass, there's just so many theories on what happens next. And so, recently I've been reading that you don't actually die. Like I don't know, what happens. I have no idea. I haven't had like that experience, so I can't speak on that. But it could be, maybe Fred's up there flying around. It could. I mean, I unfortunately I don't know enough to say on that situation.
I know. Yeah, I miss him though. Like I'm glad you brought him up because I really do miss him. Like like he was like he was such a personality. What I mean? He just had such a great. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do you remember at the last the first conference you had me at, the one where I was on the panel and Fred and Jimmy were arguing? Jimmy was in the audience and Fred was on the panel and they were going back and forth. I thought that was hilarious, and that's like classic what they would do. It
was. Other people didn't. Yeah, it was. Other people didn't like it, so I'm not going to encourage like people fighting at the panel.
Yeah, it's
But
just
yeah,
like them and like
like it. Some people
yeah.
did. It was kind of funny. It was definitely kind of funny. I don't want to see that every time, you know. So it's good that that didn't happen the last time, and especially because Fred wasn't feeling good, and unfortunately, that does show that was his last event. You know, it was very. And I went to see him in the hospital before, you know, he left us, and I would never thought he was going to leave us. So, not to get us all sentimental again, but he would have loved this particular panel, and he was supposed to be on it. So we're saving a seat for him, and I have a funny story on that, which I'll tell at the panel. Is that I had put him next to me at the last panel, like I put his name. You know how I make everybody's name tags? I put the name tag next to me, and Fred came over. He was like, "But I wanted to sit on the end," and I was like, "Well, we'll just switch Daniel Hagman's tags. He'll never know. He didn't even see it." So we're gonna save that end seat for Fred, because Fred loved that seat.
I love that. I love that you're doing that for Fred. You know, I love that you're honoring Fred. That means a lot. You know,
well, Brian,
and I think
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. We're talking over each
other.
No,
go ahead. It's okay. It's okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Brian Seach said that, but I did plan on doing something, but it made so much sense when Brian Seach said, go ahead and, you know, like, let's save him a seat. That definitely made sense because Fred was particular about where he sat, and he knew where he wanted to sit. So, and like I said, I tried to put him right next to me.
The good news is that I have a bunch of podcasts with Fred in them still. You know what I mean? I mean, we have the two panels. Plus, I have, you know, every UFO meeting I ever filmed. Like every time I went to the UFO meeting, Fred would be there. And, you know, I have a couple. One of him doing a presentation. I think they're on my Rumble because, you know, my first YouTube got taken down, so I had to rebuild that. But like, they're still on there. Yeah, but like, it's you know, I want to keep those memories of Fred because he's you know, he's definitely missed. You know. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you lost so many shows. We had good shows on that old channel that you had.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So let's talk about controlling karma. I mean, yeah, because these were on the old shows, but you know they got taken down. Like it's the 3D reality trap. Do you believe we're in like some kind of soul trap, or like do you think karma entraps us somehow in the third dimension?
I think it's both, actually. That's a good point, because I think that when you read about karma and you read about, you know, what it means, it does mean that we're supposed to repair our patterns and our, you know, do our shadow work, anything that we're doing that's repetitive or harmful, especially when we harm other people. And that's what karma has a lot to do with. People don't understand that it's intent. So for example, if you're walking down the street and you accidentally bump into someone and they run into like a wall, you did not intend to do that. So that's not something that you would be like penalized for. But if you were walking down the street and you rammed into somebody, that's like an intentional act, and that's what karma is. People don't seem to really realize that, and that's why I wrote that book too, is, you know, to kind of help people get out of their patterns, because there are a lot of people who are not aware of you know, their different patterns and things like that. I get mad at myself because I repeat patterns all the time. And I'm like, I don't have known karmic debt, but that means that I have probably karmic like patterns, which is a little bit lesser than having a karmic debt.
Yeah. Do you believe that like Earth is a school then, or do you believe this is actually like a prison plan, or do you think it's more like a school where you have to learn lessons and stuff like that?
Both, yeah. And like my second book that I ever wrote, and I never released it. No, it was my first book. I never released it, but after you died, you had to go through different rooms. Like there was an anger room, and this is stuff I wrote like 20 some years ago. It was like, how do I even know this? You know, it was well before the karma book. And after you passed, you had to go to certain rooms to try to balance yourself and become something better. And that is the ultimate goal, is to reach your higher self. And you'll see that in a lot of places. And that's my particular goal. If you reach enlightenment, you no longer have to reincarnate. And I was like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to come back. I don't know, because it's weird. Like sometimes I have a lot of fun on Earth, and then other times I'm like, I can't take it. You know, it's like, it's weird. It's you know, like it's do you feel like entities exploit karmic loops ever, stuff like that, or do you think entities can use us to, like, you know, you know what I mean?
Well, the reason that can happen is, and this is something I also had a conversation with my friend who does Reiki. He said that, because when you drink alcohol, that is something that makes you a little bit more susceptible. If you are in an altered state of mind, you are going to be more susceptible to something, getting into your head or whatever. And it was because I was like experiencing a weird experience after a certain type of spirit. I was like, this is weird. I feel like I've traveled out of my body. So, like that's why he said that it has the name spirits and things like that. So altering your state of consciousness can do that. If you, and everybody has to have like a relax or like a release or whatever. So it's okay if you got to have a couple drinks or whatever. Just, that's when you're more susceptible to anything. Otherwise, I have friends that think that it's just manipulation, that something could try to manipulate your behavior, not necessarily attaching to you, but trying to, make you do things that you don't want to do. And the only way to actually, get around that would be to protect yourself, would be to enhance your energy level. And that's what I focus on a lot, is my energy. And I know for this year, at least, this year started hard and I was working hard. So I was getting drained, and that put me in like a whole new level of vulnerability that I was not accustomed to being in. So, you got to take care of your health. That's wealth, as they say. So.
Yeah, and you're a mom too. Like I know you seem like you're a really good mom too. So like, I know you want to stay healthy and like spiritually sound because you have a daughter and stuff too. I always see pictures with you and your daughter and stuff online. And you guys are like adorable together. So
she's an angel. I try not to talk about her on these things anymore because I'm trying to protect her from this kind of stuff. But she's definitely a brilliant soul. And if you read, which one was it? Collecting and Controlling Karma, I think that's the one that tells you about how her father and I saw the numbers 111 and 1111 together, and she actually was born on 111. So it was I think there was just like a soul. Some people say there might have been like a soul pact or a soul contract to bring her here.
Wait, but I don't want 111.
What?
You say your daughter was born on 111. That's my birthday.
Yes,
I'm 111.
But we had signs, like we had endless signs before. So I don't think it was, I feel like it was something spiritual, I guess you'd say, that she needed to go here. She's the love of my life and an extension of my soul. But I'm trying not to talk about her on all of these things anymore. It's kind of protecting her,
Yeah, I didn't mean to. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring. I was.
Oh no, that's okay.
And then finally, let's talk about the Cryptid conference. So, like, let's talk about who's all going to be there and stuff like that, and like what you want to expect from this show and stuff.
Absolutely. And one thing that I do want to mention is that you may be hearing things about like the year of the snake ending and the year of the fire horse beginning. Well, that begins on February 17th, 2026. And that last happened 60 years ago. And what happened 60 years ago? It was when Mothman was first seen. It's kind of weird. So I was thinking, because we had in December, I think it was December 9th of 65, that was at the end of last year, was when Kecksburg happened. And then 1966, there was a whole lot of weird activity, and that all happened during the fire horse year. So I was kind of like thinking, I was like, is this going to happen again? Are we in for a weird 2026? But anyway, back to the Cryptid Panel. So for the Cryptid Panel, we have Steve Ward. He's going to probably be mostly like Team Mothman. Steve Ward has been, he said about 50 years, I think it was half a century, on his bio of expertise. And so I think some of his first encounters were around 1966, things that he saw. He also is involved with the Mothman Festival, and he does have his own podcast here. Let me just look up that name real quick. I saved all of their bios in here for me for this particular thing. He's traveled quite a lot. as well. He's been to different countries and things like that. His podcast is the Paranormal UK Radio Network, called the High Strangeness Factor. So he does do a lot of work on high strangeness, and he's also co-written a book with Mark Randall, who is also an author of one of my books. You can find Steve on Facebook as well. Next, we have Brian Seach. He is one of the founders of CUE, the Center for Unexplained Events, and also the Center for Cryptozoological Studies, CCS, and that's also with Terry Seach, that's his wife. And they've done quite a lot. They're, Butler, the Butler conference that I met you at. They've been sponsors and worked on that for a long time with Daniel Hagman. They've been on various films and movies for the Bigfoot stuff. And then Robert Solomon is he's the founder of the Uncanny Media. It's a paranormal network from 2018, and he hosts a podcast called The Uncanny Earth. Then we also have Jamie and Jenny King, and they founded Ohio Bigfoot Field Evidence Evaluation Team, also known as FEET, in 2009. These two work a lot with energy and things like that. They used to be tour guides at Haunted Hillview Manor and Mansfield Reformatory too. So they've done quite a bit, and I couldn't get them separated. So we've been married for a very long time, and I was like, well, I usually do one at a time, but they wouldn't leave each other's sides. They're like true soulmates. So that's beautiful in itself. And then we have Ryan O'Shea and Kathleen Wilson on photography. Now, Ryan was our panelist on our first one because he has so much knowledge about AI and things like that, which is awesome. He's probably the first and only person I've seen that wouldn't mind being a cyborg. So that's fun too. And then you've Kathleen, who has been exploring all of this. Those two are both very, very animated. They like to go places and explore. And then we have this guy named Robert Khalil. Do you know him?
Yeah, I think I know who that is.
So he's the charismatic host of the podcast. Then you have me, the moderator and producer. And then we have two sponsors, and the sponsors help with both. I always give a goodie bag to the panelists, but they help, give more to you guys. And then I would like to get more sponsors so that we could give something to the library. And then my costs are only like $275 because I do give gifts to everybody. But, if sponsors wanted to come in and take over on that part too, it would make things easier for me. I would just do the production part and not have to spend my own funds. And I don't have to do that. It's something I want to do. I don't believe in people having to work for free, or even if it's something fun that they would do either way. I just don't believe in that. Our first sponsor is Tiffany Apan. She is a singer and songwriter in the Gothic and Celtic music realm. She's also an author and podcaster. So she's actually the one I asked you if you didn't mind sharing some podcasting with. She's going to, I think, run a podcast too.
That's cool.
But I think hers is a little bit more local. I think your fan base is throughout different countries and things like that. And then we also have Jonathan Stiffy. He was our first sponsor on the last one, and he is a local MUFON field investigator with a passion for the unknown.
Yeah, I'm happy he gave us all a Starbucks gift card last time. When you sent that to me, I used it. I got a bag of really good coffee. So I'm happy about that. That was really nice.
Yeah, well, now with two sponsors, you guys are getting even more. So if anybody else wants their name on the official merchandise, official flyer, things like that, then they can sponsor. They can do as little as $80, $100, and that'll just get them noticed as a sponsor. And I'll also introduce them at the panel and online.
Yeah, this is probably something I should talk about off camera, but I'll just ask you because I don't want to forget. I got to get with you and I got to figure out something with the sound, right? Because they were saying that they wanted the sound better. Do you think I should get an external, bring an external microphone? Yeah, I think, and
we had the last panel we had filmed also by our local TV station, BPTV, Bethel Park Public Television. So they had excellent audio, and I think he just used an external mic. So what we can try out is an external mic on the computer. And I know we'll talk about that later, but we do definitely need to improve that. I think Steve Ward, because he lives in Point Pleasant, is probably going to be on the big screen. So he's probably going to be the best sound. And then the rest of them, we'll just need to get that through, that external mic. We do want to improve that for the audience. We have had some feedback, and that was one of the things that we do want to improve.
Yeah, that's my fault. I'll get on. I'll make sure that's I'll figure out something. And this was amazing. Is there anything else you want to promote before we finish up or anything like that, or tell people how they can get your books and anything? Yeah, this was great.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I do want to mention I may be doing, as weird as it sounds, a paranormal film in the spring. So look forward to that. It just depends on time, because this year is going to be a little bit different. I always run out of time with things too. But I do need to do some updates, but my main website is solsticenightsky.com. I also have Facebook pages and Instagram pages. So if it's public, then that's the one that you can, definitely join. There's also a group if you want to have more intimate chats about things. Christine M. Soltis of Solstice Night Sky Productions. That's on Facebook. I'm on Amazon. All my books are on Amazon if you want to buy something there. If you're in Florida, my little shop space is at Painted Tree Boutiques, 5800 South Flamingo Road. That's space J32 and Cooper City, Florida, 33330. So
that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Christine, and I'll be seeing you soon. And thank you, everybody, and have a good night, guys. And thanks, Christine.
Thank you.